Excellency Dame Cecilia Grenada, Governor General of Grenada, distinguished colleagues, heads of government, heads of delegation, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the media, those viewing this evening's proceedings online throughout the region and beyond. Welcome to Grenada. Welcome to CARICOM. Welcome to Petit Martinique. And I will claim Union, Myro, and Canoan this evening. When I hear my voice, it tells me I have something. I'm not so sure if it's, whenever Carnival is coming, you get some kind of flu. But since we had burial, I seem to have developed some sort of allergies or something of the sort. So I'll take it, it's the post-burial allergies or flu. And it's not a joke because since burial, when you wake in the morning, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these small little flies all over. They blanket the floor, the window. In fact, when you walk on the floor and you look underneath your feet, there's the evidence of this. I assume CAFA or some other regional institution at some point, University of the West Indies, UWI, will assist us in assessing, studying, and telling us what it is and whether it's good or bad for us. So I want to start by, as our school children said to CARICOM, thank you, CARICOM. Thank you, CARICOM, for all that you have done for Grenada, CARICOM, and Petit Martinique. When I journeyed to Suriname in 2022 for my first heads of conference meeting, I went back last night and looked at what I said. And you know what happens when you're young and you're fresh and you know come. And I said then we should ensure CARICOM is not an institution that talk and talk and talk some more. But President Ali talked a lot this evening. Now, you notice he didn't open his folder. He had a speech. He didn't read it. He got some inspiration from UWI. I won't tell you which part of the speech inspired him, but I will call his delivery in defense of CARICOM. And there was no better closing play than the accession of Curacao to this prestigious institution called the Caribbean Community. So I know that CARICOM doesn't just talk and talk and talk some more. I know this because today, President Ali, his foreign minister, his chief of defense staff, journeyed with me this morning to CARICOM and Petit Martinique to greet the Guyanese Defense Force soldiers who are right now repairing the police station in Hillsborough in CARICOM. Who are right now repairing the Hillsborough Secondary School in CARICOM. Who are right now repairing the post office, the district revenue office, and the administrative building in Hillsborough in CARICOM. Prime Minister Rowley, within 24 hours of Hurricane Beryl, stocked the 2 Osprey boats that are owned by a Petit Martinican family that had moved to Trinidad for safekeeping to ride out the storm with goods and supplies to send to Grenada. The RSS contingent of soldiers from Antigua and Barbados, notwithstanding that Barbados itself was hit by Hurricane Beryl, were in CARICOM and Petit Martinique, providing security support for policemen in CARICOM and Petit Martinique. Dominica, which itself was decimated by Hurricane Maria not so long ago, sent Grenada $1 million EC. The British Virgin Islands, $250,000 US. The Cayman Islands, the Premier and an entire delegation flew to Grenada in person to demonstrate their solidarity to Grenada and to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They delivered $250,000 US each to us. So who is coming to save us? Who is coming to save us? So you see, I know that CARICOM doesn't just talk and talk and talk some more. So I want to say, I will continue the in defense of CARICOM speech this evening. And Prime Minister Skirt, who's an outgoing member of the Bureau, always says this. The only people who defend the Caribbean are the politicians. Where is our academia? Where is UE? Where is civic society? Where is the once mighty labor movement that shaped the politics and defined historic eras? Where is the modern day Uriah Buzz Butler? A union man walking in the back. You should come forward, my friend, come forward. I say this because CARICOM doesn't belong to the heads of government. It's the Caribbean community. And we are not going to shape a vision for the next 50 years simply because the heads of government meet. The vision of the Caribbean community is a vision that has to be shaped by the people of the Caribbean. In reflecting on CARICOM's 51 years in existence, I read the speech of Errol Barrow when the Treaty of Chagamras was signed. And in that speech, he made reference to Sir Eric, and I'm calling him Sir Eric, Dr. Eric Williams, whom he said never really wanted to be a politician, who people had to beg. And his thank you is the thank you that the President of Guyana talked about. Relentless criticism, relentless naysayers, allegation of corruption, mismanagement, etc., etc. If that is the narrative that we choose to define CARICOM and ourselves, if that is how we view ourselves, always inadequate, always second best, then we are helping others to easily shape our narrative. But I know that it is CARICOM that prevented the region turning into a war zone like so many other regions currently are right now. I know that it's CARICOM that has responded the swiftest and in the most extensive manner to all plight here in Grenada, CARICOM, and PT Martinique from the ravages of Hurricane Beryl. I know that it is CARICOM that is going to take the fight for reparatory justice throughout the length and breadth of the world. I know that it is CARICOM that fights for small island developing states, not just in this region, but small island developing states worldwide. I know it is CARICOM athletes that will shine in Paris. So why with these obvious examples? Why with our RSS? Why with our CCJ? Why with our Caribbean single market and economy? I'll talk a little bit there. I want us to appreciate something. CARICOM is the longest surviving, and survival is not an appropriate adjective. It is the longest thriving integration movement in the developing world. We are talking South and Latin America. We are talking Africa. We are talking Asia. There is no other like CARICOM. And so when we talk about persons wanting to become associate members, we're not just talking about from within the region. There have been inquiries from countries far and wide as to whether there is the opportunity to have a relationship with CARICOM. And why is that? It is because the external world knows and recognizes the value of CARICOM. You can ask them in the UN, when the big boys and girls want your vote, they find a way to come and walk around the chair where Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Guyana, or Trinidad sits. So we must recognize our value. We must shape our narrative that says, we have the same right as everyone else on this globe. And I want us to appreciate that we have been tested time and time again, and yet we rise. Comrade Gonzalez, in reflecting today, said under his stewardship, he's dealt with at least 10 natural disasters, plus suffering. Two weeks before this hurricane hit Grenada, we were in a state of drought. We had water regulations in place that prevented you from washing your car, filling up a swimming pool. Farmers couldn't get water. 2 weeks later, as soon as the rain started to fall, you get hit with a Category 4 hurricane. So I want us to appreciate that the resilience we have is not something that we should take for granted. It is something that we are in together. You know, I said this at the United Nations in 2022. And I just want to repeat part of it because it reinforces the UE. Mr. President, I was then addressing the President of UNGA. And I said, confronting the climate crisis will require a complete transformation of our mindsets and behaviors also. And importantly, the transformation of our energy sources, economic models, and land stewardship. This is a unique opportunity to come together, welcome innovative ideas, and tackle the problems we have struggled with for generations. I said the plea is not without urgency. I said as a leader of a small island developing state, SIDS, I'm all too familiar with the devastating effects of climate change and the stark reality that we may not have a country to pass on for future generations. This is not a joke. This is not nice sounding words. When a mother meets you in CARICOM and asks, why me? When everything that they've worked for is gone. The Guyana Defense Force briefed the president. When you pass people, they are dazed 1 month later. They are still in shock. They are still traumatized. You think after you spent all your life working hard, doing all of the things you've been told to do, and in 45 minutes, right in front of your eyes, it's gone. And it's not just you, it's everyone else. But this isn't just CARICOM and P.T. Martin. With each hurricane season that now brings the more powerful storms, I said that in 2022. Well, Beryl, Auntie Beryl break all records. All records. So we are not imagining or exaggerating or engaging in hyperbole. If ever, we understating the urgent reality of what we are facing. I said in 2004, it was Grenada's turn with Hurricane Ivan. In a matter of a mere 8 hours, we lost 34 souls, and the Category 3 storm destroyed over 80% of our housing stock and decimated our economic and fiscal bases, with damages surpassing 200% of our gross domestic product. 10 months later, we got hit with another storm, Hurricane Emily. I said we watched in horror as our brothers and sisters across the Caribbean experienced their turn. Hurricane Irma in 2017 left the island of Barbuda nearly uninhabitable. So when I say we may not have an island or a country to pass on, it's not coming from bombs that we are dropping on another island. It's coming from the climate bombs that others have caused to be dropped on us. Then it was the British Virgin Islands. It lost approximately 85% of its housing stock. 2 weeks later, Hurricane Maria destroyed Dominica. It left 31 people dead, 37 missing, 930 million in damages. Did anyone come to Dominica's rescue? It has become one of the most heavily indebted islands, countries in the world. Because in order to rebuild, it has had to borrow, and borrow from the very people whose actions have led to the ferocity, the increased strength, and the alarming increase in frequency in these hurricanes. And there are people that will always want to fact check us. So let's fact check. I think my mother was born in 1955. That's the year of Hurricane Janet. We did not experience any major hurricane thereafter until 2004. But then in 2005, we got hit. And we're in 2024, and we get hit again. So if you do the math, you went from 1 in every 50 years, odds we could live with, survive with, to 2 every 20 years. So every 10 years, we expect to be hit by category 3, 4, 5, and it may go off the scale, 6, 7, 8 hurricane. So that is what existential means. It's a big word that everybody uses now. If someone chooses to drop bombs and shell your country, it's existential, but it's easy to stop. The human beings just need to stop. You just have to decide, we will end the war, we will sit, we will negotiate, we'll call a truce. Explain to the citizens of CARICOM and PT Martinique how we are going to stop these category 4 and 5 hurricanes from hitting them. That is why it is existential. That is why CARICOM must, shall, and will continue to advocate for climate justice. So, my colleague, member of the Bureau, President Ali, talked about some of the technical work that we will engage in over the next 2 days. I want to re-emphasize again that a lot of this work is not of our own doing. The guns that pose a clear and present public health danger are not manufactured in the Caribbean. So yes, national security, crime and criminality, the gun violence is something that we must and will treat with because it poses a clear and present danger to public health and public welfare in the region. I need not speak about Haiti because President Ali has clearly outlined the countless hours and the resources CARICOM has put in supporting our brothers and sisters and the people of Haiti. And I welcome the presence of the President of the Transitional National Council with us today. The Caribbean single market and economy and the movement of people remains a priority. And Prime Minister Motley, who leads this issue, will be with us tomorrow morning, and we intend and expect to make progress on this issue. And I know some of us in the region may be a little cynical on this issue. But as I call out the labor and the business and the civic society, you too can play your part in helping us to find the solutions that leads to more rapid advancement on those issues. Because oftentimes, the timidity may come from the fear of political reactions from the citizens at home. So we have to educate our population and unshackle them from the idea that the free movement of our citizens within CARICOM will do anything other than enhance the growth, the strength, and the solidarity within the Caribbean community. And I said this, when we have disasters, there are no borders. I don't recall any extensive paperwork for the Guyanese Defense Force to be in CARICOM and PT Martinique. I don't recall any extensive paperwork for CDEMA to be in Grenada, to be working, to be providing support to our National Disaster Management Agency. Ms. Riley, thank you. In fact, I don't recall any major extensive paperwork for all of the international donor agencies which are in Grenada, CARICOM, and PT Martinique doing work right now. So why are we clinging on to fears? We all know each other. We all know the chicken curry or the curry chicken. So we will continue to advance work on this issue. As chairman, I will champion an ambitious digital transformation agenda as CARICOM's lead on ICT. We have an opportunity in the Caribbean to ensure that for once we do not get left behind in this technological revolution. And so I will outline tomorrow a proposed strategy for addressing a number of issues across the digital transformation landscape, ranging from cyber security to digital health to a digital skills fund, amongst others. We owe it to the next generation of Caribbean citizens to give them the tools and the education to make sure that they can stay in the Caribbean and apply their skills anywhere in the world, because there is no better place to live than the Caribbean. So I want to conclude by thanking the two members of the Bureau that I worked with prior to my becoming the chairman. The Honorable Roosevelt Skirt, Prime Minister of Dominica. His Excellency President Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Their guidance, their stewardship, their steadfast defense of CARICOM, and more importantly, the significant achievements accomplished under their respective tenure, leaves me in good stead to continue with the work that they have started. I look forward to welcoming Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who will take up the chair after I conclude my stint and who therefore becomes a member of the Bureau, to continue to work closely with her and President Ali as we continue to champion all of the issues that he has highlighted, the issues that I have raised. And I want to assure the citizens of the Caribbean community that the glasses are full, and it is our responsibility to get it to 3/4 full so that the next generation of Caribbean citizens could take it to 80% and 85%. We know it will never be full. So welcome to Grenada. Thank you for coming. We took the decision to host this meeting notwithstanding the impacts of Hurricane Beryl, because it is important to send the message to the world that Jamaica is open for business. Jamaica is open for business. Barbados is open for business. St. Vincent and the Grenadines are open for business. Grenada is open for business. And as we've said, we shall rise. Thank you very much.